I'm Jaco Burger, married to my lovely wife Lucille, and we've got 3 little munchkins there in the house. Noah 4.5, Annabelle 2, and Leo 10 weeks.
Last week Wednesday, our little girl fell into the pool. The eldest came to us and he spoke to Jaco through the bathroom door, and that's why I heard him speaking. He said that his little sister Sissy's not with me, which was strange, and that triggered my mind, thinking if she's not with him watching TV, it's very quiet in the house because it's a 2-year-old. You know they're always busy with something somewhere. I just prayed, dear Lord, let her be sitting in the sandpit, which is just next to the swimming pool. But as I came onto the stoop and I looked over, she was already floating in the water. Then I grabbed her, and as I grabbed her, you think movie style, I shook her in hope that she would open her eyes. But she was white, ice scald with blue. Her fingers was blue, her toes were blue, her mouth was blue, and I knew now I'm in for it. I'm gonna start doing CPR because there's no way that she's going to breathe on her own. She's not breathing. So I started with compressions and breathing, and Jaco for a moment was actually a bit of hysterical. He didn't know what to do first, but what he actually did, I believe, was just as important as doing the CPR on the floor. His first reaction, he couldn't remember it. I only told him afterwards, was that he called the Lord. I think his first words was, "Here, nie my dogtertjie nie." So he first called the Lord. By then, the neighbors from the back was also looking over the window, the wall. And they also phoned for an ambulance. So, but ambulances don't just appear. We figured. So, Jaco says it's about 15 minutes of me doing CPR. If I was looking from the nursing perspective or the medical perspective, I think I should have stopped earlier because she wasn't there. There was nothing there. So. Today. So yeah, and as I was doing the CPR, Jaco was holding her head, and the security from Bassett first came, but by the time the ambulance actually got to us, the 2 ladies from ER 24 came in, she was actually crying. We knew there's life, but what kind of life would there be? I just sat back and I just called the Lord, and I just asked him for my little girl back, because she was stable at that stage, but she was not there completely.
I think also one thing that was amazing is that while everything was happening, the first thing after we phoned the ambulance and everybody, the first thing we could think of is get the church to start praying. And I got hold of Margriet, and before we knew it, everybody was praying. And at the hospital, when the pediatrician arrived, he said, I could see in his face, he's a very calm and collected guy. He's a specialist for neonatal ICU. He sees stuff like that daily, and I could see that he was not very hopeful for the situation, although he kept us very calm. And he spoke about, we're talking about if they pull her through, we're talking about weeks in ICU. I just remember sitting next to her and just singing Jesus Loves Me into her ear the whole time. And an hour after that, the pediatrician came in and he said, if she's awake and she's hungry, you should give her food.
So we ordered jelly and custard for her. She ate 2 bowls immediately, and
herself.
She insisted on eating self. So she says self, and then she ate. She was just getting better and better
So
by the
quickly.
hour,
Yeah.
instead of getting worse, which they told us. Less than 36 hours after she was in the pool, she was at home. And we were for our neurological checkup Monday that's passed. They cannot find anything wrong with any of her reflexes, any of her brain function. So no need for an MRI, nothing. She's 100%. She started school Wednesday, and
Exactly a week after. God has got our lives in His hands. I think we run so fast and we want to control everything so much in our lives, but just that knowing that even though something happens outside of your control, God is there. He's holding His hands, or He's holding us in His hands. And I think that just that realization of God's omnipresence, just He's everywhere, even if we can't be there. I mean, looking after 3 children is quite daunting at times, but then you realize, even though that happened and it could have been a complete disaster, it just turned out to a place of, okay, we need God on a daily basis, on an hourly basis.